Greetings to everyone. So let us continue with this final exam, advanced Excel 2025. Let me hope you are okay with question 1. We did this question, and we in the first part of that video, we explained each and everything in this question. So if you missed this one, I recommend you to search for that first part and the first video we made to consist the answer for this question. So we explained, it took like 2 hours to explain each and everything, so it has a lot. You can go and check, and indeed you can learn something. And if you are like above that, you can maybe advise somewhere. Please, we need your maybe comment over anything that you can advise and we change. So you can, I recommend you to just go and search about this, and so that you can see how we answered this. So today's part is maybe we go to our question 2. They said we open spreadsheet, intermediate Excel, and they save it on your desktop. Hence, open the sheet 1 tab and do the following task. So on the support file, that very support file we used it to answer question 1, we're gonna use that very one. It has another tab or sheet called sheet 1. So we're gonna go to our Excel and we open that intermediate Excel support file they gave us, and we open it so that we can locate that sheet 1. So let us go to our this is the support file for that it was given. So this is the sheet 1 they told us to open. So let us go and answer the questions that are below. They said rename your sheet 1 as a first answer, then choose a suitable title for the document, format according to your choice to make it attractive. So here we go here, sheet 1 will rename to, right click and then go to rename, and then they said we first answer. So that is what they told us. Then they said we create a topic for this or a title for this document, and then we format it according to our own choice. So when we want to make a title on this document, first select the first row, then make sure you right click inside where you selected, then you insert. Of course, a row will come above this one, so you'll be able to type what you want. So according to this document, I may say this is, or maybe I will say the employee details. That is my title. You can just choose any, you can write any. So after writing this, I can decide to like format this title up there. So if there is an adjustment, I will just adjust accordingly. So for now, let me stop it here. So from here, I can just select up there and merge and center. From there, I can make my title big, so I can increase the font. So I can change even the font style, and maybe I can select anything, this one. So from there, I can even change the color and I make it red. I can even decide to choose the fill to maybe something blue. Yes, I think I can bold. Then I think that is it. So maybe you can change even the font color. I think the font is so, this color is shouting. So let me choose this one, or let me choose white. Yes. So this is my title for this document. Then let us go and answer part B. Part B said choose a suitable table. We have just done that one. So another one, arrange all the column headings to be in row 1. Apply wrap text to them and delete the row 2. So we go to our document. So we arrange everything to be in row 1, which means this row 1 has become row 2. So we arrange everything here and we make into one row. So we can see this is allowances, we can see medical allowance and the housing allowance. So let us go and maybe we cut this one, we come here, we edit this, we make sure we work within a cell. That is, we make sure that our cursor is blinking within the cell. Then we paste what we have cut, or we can just write that word medical. So let me just write there medical. So from there I press enter. I don't need this one, or I can just decide to do undo and leave it there. So from there we can see allowance medical, then we can even housing, then let us write this housing above, or we can cut and paste. So let us just write housing. From there they said we arrange this one in one column and we delete this one. So let us see, I select everything here and we delete this row. So after selecting Control Shift negative or subtraction and delete, or right click and delete, or go to home and delete. Whatever option you choose, it will work for you better. So from there we go to another question, we go and answer another part. So they said arrange the column heading to be in row 1. So in one row, they wanted to be in row 1, just in one row. So apply wrap text and to them and delete the row 2. So we go here, we apply wrap text here. So we highlight this, or we apply wrap text to the entire, we just apply to that one. If it is need for adjustment, we are adjust even the format. So we select up to there, then we apply wrap text. So we can see it has changed our heading. So from here we can make adjustment to make sure, maybe we can make adjustment to make sure it is fitting, maybe it is bringing what we want. So from there maybe allowance, this one can make it like that. So this is what I call wrap text. I can even select this and make sure it is fitting, so nothing is hidden. So I'll go to home, then I go to format, then auto fit column width. I make sure all the name is visible accordingly. So that is what I wanted. From there I go to another part. They said determine the payee for each employee, given that the employee is charged from the basic pay as follows. Hint, use if function. So this is the table they give us. They want us to determine payee let us go to our Excel and we see we have pay here. So from there we go to our question, we see this table. They said we use if function and we use this table and we determine the pay for each employee, given that the employee is charged from the basic pay, which means this one is this rate times the basic pay, because given a charge, it is charged from the basic pay, which means if I get the percentage of this one, then I multiply by the basic pay, I'll be able to get the pay. So this is the basic pay range. They give us from something 0 to this one, from this to this, and from this amount to this, or from this and above. So this is the rate pay. First of all, the pay. What is pay? Pay is the amount someone get when has done something. If you are the company, if you have a company and you have an employee, if someone has done work and you may be expected to be paid, that amount you pay to that person, it is called pay. So that is the amount. Like in terms of business, like a tax also that you're supposed to pay to service. So this is, let us refer pay as our tax that we are supposed to pay to someone, so to pay for the service. So that amount that we pay after service is called pay. Let us go to our Excel and you see this is the pay. Let us, for simplicity, let us maybe let us just term this one as our tax. So to simplify this one, pay, let us just term as a tax. You can see basic. It is the amount you get, or that is you earn without anything like a allowance. So the basic, that is exact amount you get without addition and allowances. So if you have basic of this one and you have something allowance for this and this, then your salary will be something different. So the salary is different from basic. Basic salary is that exact amount without allowances. So when we add allowances, that is become the total salary. So this is the basic pay, or someone has to pay as basic to someone who is providing the service. So let us go to our question. We see they said if someone is getting a basic, this is the basic. If someone is getting a basic from 0 to this amount, like 2,000, 35,000, 235,000. So if this one, if this person is getting from this amount 0 to this one, is supposed to pay no tax. If someone is getting a basic of this one to this one, has to pay tax of 10%. If someone is getting a basic salary or basic pay or a basic amount of 336,000, is supposed to pay this amount in this rate of 20%. So it's supposed to pay a rate, a pay or a tax of 20%. If someone is having or is getting this 100, 100 or 11,000, so it's supposed to get, and above, supposed to get or supposed to pay this 30%. So let us go to our Excel and we see our basic O, and we form our if function. This is a range. We can see it from 0 to something. There is some amount. From this amount to this amount, there is something. From this amount to this amount, there is something, which means it is not specific. It is not fixed. You may get either above this one or within this one, but you are not supposed to exceed this one. If you are exceeding this one, we take you to another level. If you are getting a 0 or something which is below this, you are supposed to pay no tax. If you are getting this and you are in between within this and you are not exceeding this, you are supposed to pay tax of 10%. If you are getting this and you are within this range, not exceeding for something, you are paying a tax of 20%. So it's like if you are moving from this and this, so it is not specific. We are moving step by step. Let us go to X and we see how we can form that. So we come here where there's payee and they say cosine equal payee. They said we use if function, so we write there if function, we select. So we shall say if the basic, we are gonna form our logical test. If the basic is greater than if our basic is greater than or equal to, if our basic pay is greater than or equal to this amount. First of all, when we are writing a function, we begin with the greatest and we go to the lowest. So let us begin with the greatest amount. This is the greatest amount. So 411 then deposit. So if our basic pay is greater than this amount, is greater than or equal this amount for 11 then deposit. So if our basic pay is equal or greater than that amount, comma, I would like Excel to do what? We go to our question. They say if this person is getting this amount and above, is supposed to pay tax of 30% of the basic. So because they said pay was charged from the basic pay, so if this person is getting this or above, is supposed to pay a tax of 30% of the basic. So this one 20% to 30% is supposed to be charged, or you're supposed to pay this at tax or at this rate. So for us, we want to know the amount within 30%. If I want to know the amount within 30%, I will say 30% times the basic. The basic is basic, then I will be able to know how much he paid or how much is maybe is charged in 30%. So if I want to calculate what value in 30%, if I know what was charged on 30%, I'll just multiply 30% times the what was charged, that it was basic pay, because it was charged from the basic pay. So 30% times basic pay, I'll be able to calculate the exact value within, or the exact amount within 30%. So from here, we said our F function, we said Excel. If this person, if we said if this one, our basic pay is greater than or equal to this amount, comma. I would like Excel. The next part is, if the value is true, what would you want Excel to do? I would like Excel to multiply for me 30% times the basic pay. Here I'm trying to get the value which is maybe in 30%, or the amount. If that statement is true, the first logic part, this part we have written, if it is true, what was the, I don't want to be given maybe this one. I want to get, if the value is, if this one, the logic test, if this statement is true, I would like Excel to calculate for me the amount within 30%. So it's like I'm trying to get what is 30% in terms of amount. So I will say 30% times the basic pay, comma. But remember, we are still continuing because our box in a question is still moving. So we have this possibility, we have even this possibility, we have even this possibility. So we have someone maybe may not get, maybe having something which is below this one, or above, or something which is below this one, so like that. So let us go to another person and we see. So we have finished this part, we are going to this part. So let us go to our if function. We have finished to build this log part. If the value is true is finished, then another part which is remaining if the value is false. Obvious, if the value is false, Excel will do nothing. But for this case, this question, it is requiring another if, because we are still moving. If we are comparing this one and this one, obviously the Excel will say, the obvious answer will say, if this one not 30%, Excel will just take 20%. But here we have 20%, we have to multiply even 10%, we have even this option of no tax. So we must use this and this. We are finished on this. So if the value is false, if that statement is false, which means we would like Excel to move to another range, which means this one doesn't go, maybe doesn't get this range, maybe is below this amount. So if it is below this amount, I would like Excel to use this 20%. If that person is below also this amount, I would like Excel to use 10%. If that person is below that amount, I would like Excel to use no tax. So let us go and we see how we can build that one. So if the value is false, I would like Excel to bring for me another if function, and I repeat to write the log key test. So I'll select this one. I say if this basic pay is, this time I'll go to, remember we are moving to this part. So if this person is getting 336,000 and above, I would like Excel to use 20%. So let us go and write that on 336. So if this person is getting above or equal to 336,000 comma, if this one is true, I would like Excel to multiply 20% times 20% times the base key pay. So what I've just done, I said if this one person is having this amount or above, which means must above or must go up to this amount. Because we have written this one, so we don't, if it's exceeding this one, it means X will take this, will use 30%. So because we have written this, X will just go to 30%. So if this person is having this and above, maybe up to this, X will just take 20%. So we have finished this part. Again, we are still having another one, so we have to write another if function until we get to the last person. So we go to another if this one false. If this one is true, X will just multiply to this one times this one. If false, obvious, X will take me to another part and it will give me another way how to solve it. So I'll just bring another if function and I select. So I have to write the logic. This again, I say if this basic test this basic p is greater than or equal to, remember, let us use this one, greater than or equal to 236,000. 236,000. If basic pay is greater than or equal to that amount, so I would like Excel to multiply from 10% times the base key pay. This is the base pay. So we said if this person is getting a basic pay of 236,000 or above that one, I would like Excel to multiply this times this one in order to get the amount within this 10%. I will just multiply this one times the basic pay, comma. If this one false, if this one not true, since I have only one part remaining, there is no need to bring another if. This is another part. Of course, we have, for something to be standard, we have either true or false. So if I have two things, must be true or false. So here I have only two arguments. Either this one is true or this one is true, or this one false or this one is true. So one must be true, one must be false. If this one is true, we say multiply the 10% times the basic pay. If this one is false, which means it will be less than this, so X will just know this one will be less than this, so X will take what I want. So I just take this word, no text. I don't need to write another comment because I'm remaining with one thing. So I'll just write there the word. If that one is false, X will give me no tax. I put in quotation because this is what text. So I close my bracket. I make sure I close as many as number of brackets I've just opened. So I make sure I close how many brackets I've just opened. Let me count: 1, maybe 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So if they are not true, X will just help me to close. So let me press enter. And let's see what Excel can give us. So let us press enter. Yes. So I can say I've get this answer. If I try to autofill, I can see I'm getting this amount. So let me just expand a bit. Let's see. So we can see where we have this word no tax, it means someone is below the amount of which we written there. So if someone is below this amount, if it's between this and this, must get no tax. So if your basic is below is 0, between 0 and this, you must pay no tax. So let us go and cross check. If your basic is below something 200, let me check the question. If your basic is below 235,000, you must have this word no tax. So let us cross check and we see this one is below 235, this one below. You can see if this one is below, this one also below. You can see even this one is below, even this one is below. So you can see. So for this amount, what they did, if you belong to where there's 10%, they multiply by 10%. If you belong where there's 20%, they multiply by 20% to get this amount. If you belong where there's 30%, they multiply by 30% to get this amount. So this is how we can maybe calculate that part of pay. So we shall go to another question. So they said calculate NSSF for the each of employer given that the NSS is charged at the rate of 15% from the basic pay. So here NSS is charged 15% of the basic pay. Then determine the medical and the housing allowance. Each employer is entitled to given that the two allowances are charged from the basic at the rate of 5 and 6. So we have NSS 15%. We have allowances rate which is 5% and 6%. So 5% is for what allowance called maybe allowance medical, and 6 it is for housing. So let us go to our Excel. They said NSSF is 15%. So we shall of the basic. So if we want to get the amount within 15%, we shall say 15% times 15% times the basic pay. We shall able to get the amount within 15%. So we just sort of fill to get the amount. So that is how we can catch it. They said here it is basic. The medical was 5%. So 5%, we shall say 5%. Would like to know amount within 5%. So we shall just multiply by basic pay, which is this one. So we press enter and the autofill to get the amount. They said housing is 6%. 6%. 6% times basic pay, this one. Then we just press enter and we get the answer for the basic one. So I think that is it. I think this is how we can calculate these things. This one we are very easy. So we just go and get the percent and multiply with the basic pay directly, so that you can get the amount within that rate or that percent they give in this question. So that is how we can maybe calculate those one. So they said format all the figure with comma separator, then and format the value in the currencies Ugandan currency. So we go to, we highlight the entire values here. Here I think these are values. We go to home tab. This is the comma. They say it is separator. That is how we can apply comma. So they said we apply even the currency. We can do click. We go to home tab. Home tab. They said we convert all the values in Ugandan shilling, Ugandan currency. So we go to home tab, then we go to number format group, then we come here to launcher button. We go to currency, then we come here where the symbol. We look for Ugandan. We step there, Uganda. Then we try to scroll here. This is our Ugandan suffix for maybe currency. So we click OK. We can even not try to reduce to 0 decimal. So this is how we can maybe format this. So this is what they wanted us to do. So maybe that is done. They said we can. Okay, let us go to this number this part. We finished to format all figures with comma style, and we finished part B. Format the figure in Ugandan currency, then rotate the headings to 45 degrees. Let us go to our Excel. We rotate this one, that is the heading, to 45 degrees. So we come here, but remember it is in wrap text, so let us first remove wrap text, then we rotate, because we cannot perform two orientation at the same time. Let us do 45. We orientate into, maybe apply 45 degrees. So from here we can, because then we can put wrap text. So you can see when I select here and I come here, you can see the wrap text is on, and even wrap text is on. So that is how we can make this to be organized. So you first orient and then you apply wrap text if you don't want your work to become disorganized. So that is how we can answer this question. So insert head of your work or head of your name to your work. So this is our work, and we want to insert header. We come here to this page layout. Well, remember we are working in the normal view, so we go to this view called page layout, and we click there. So we can see here, this is where we can apply our header. So you can put your name as your header, then you can put anything. So this is header. If you want footer, just come down, click inside your work, then come down, then you put footer. If you are going to put footer, then click inside your work, then go to your normal you're working with. So this is how you can apply header. So you have applied header, but you are not seeing here your name. So if you want to see it, go to file tab and go to print preview. You will see this is your header. So that is how we can confirm that our header is working or is on. So that is how we can answer that question. Another part, they said, and answer this part, the present your work graphically in a bubble chart, taking note of only surname, first name, and net pay. So we go to our Excel. They said we take note of only surname, first name, and net pay. Here in our Excel we don't have anything concerning net pay, so we must find a way of how we can get net pay. So how do we get net pay? Here is our project whereby your employee getting maybe a salary from a certain company. They are giving a basic pay, then a basic allowances and allowance. This pay and NSSF, this one like tax. This basic pay is the exact amount you get without any addition allowance. So if you are, let us assume you are getting 1 million as basic pay, allowance 200 and housing 300. That is the total salary will be 1 million and 1.5 million. So that is the total salary without any of these things. So when they subtract your total salary pay, that is the tax. Maybe you pay for the company, you pay to the company, because we say the amount you pay after service, which means you are paying a tax to a company because the company employed you. So NSSF, this is the amount which will be deducted from your salary, because the government policy whereby you supposed to have that amount to safeguard you, maybe as a better way for me when you retire or when you reach a certain limit of age, and maybe you get that amount later. So it means when you get your total salary monthly, they will automatically deduct that one to keep it somewhere, so it will not be included on your salary. So let us count that NSSF as an expense. So if we want to get net pay means the amount we get without expense. So this basic amount you get, exact amount you get without allowance. Net pay, it will be amount you get without any expense. So as we are answering this question, to represent our work graphically in a bubble chart, we make sure we have surname, first name and net pay. So far we have surname, first name, we don't have net pay. So let us calculate net pay. Net pay, let us create a column for net pay. So here we try to adjust the format so that our work become uniform. So this one has already adjusted, so it's okay. Then we calculate what we call net pay. As we said, net pay is equal to the exact amount you get without expense. Remember, this is a tax and this is also something will be deducted from your salary. With these two are expense. This one is your salary, this one is allowance also being added to your salary. So let us add first to get the gross pay. That is, gross pay is like your total salary. This will be basic plus allowance, medical allowance, then plus housing allowance. We close the bracket. We subtract that one from, and this one pay, that is a tax you are paying to a company, plus this expense which will be deducted from your salary as an SSF. So these two becoming our expense. So if we subtract that one and we press enter, what we are gonna get will be the net pay, the amount which will remain without any expense. We autofill to get for the rest, but as we autofill, we are seeing some errors because of this one. This one means it is not fitting, so we adjust to make it to accommodate the value within that cell. So here these are errors, which means if you are trying to move here, you can see in the warning, which means error in the value or showing calculation. So we can go and check what is causing the error, or we can just try to trace what we used in our calculation. Why is it that here it is okay, but here it is bringing some error? If we move what we used here, we can see here we are having a text. This is no text, so we cannot use a text in calculation. That's why we are getting some error. So we find that whenever you have this word no text, no text, no text, you're getting some error. So how do you prevent, how do you solve that? Remember, we said these two are expense. Remember, this is D, pay D, maybe D, this is the column for the pay and the E. So if this one pay is D and the column for E, it is a NSS. So these are two expense. Where there is no tax, this is a text, it is a column for D. We would like to solve this column D. Whenever there is no tax, we would like Excel to replace it with a 0 or nothing. So it means this guy is having only one expense for NSS, doesn't have any cost for tax because doesn't qualify to pay tax. So what can we do here? We're gonna use a certain function to solve that problem. So let me first select this expression we used to calculate our net pay. So this is our calculation for net pay. Let me copy it. So let me come here. I would like to use a certain function to solve for me that problem. Where is net pay? I will say if error, this is if error, which I want. If there's something error in what I just calculated, if error, which means you have a value and the value is error. So if the value I've just calculated with the one net which I've just calculated is having error, I would like Excel, if error, I would like Excel to give me something. If this value we have calculated is having error, I would like Excel to give me something, the correction. So what I will say, if error, the value, which is this one, value, that value, this is the value. If it is okay, it will be there. If error, then Excel, I would like it Excel to give me something. So if error, this is the part we are gonna solve in order to solve this one or to overcome these errors. If error, then I would like Excel to do the following. I would bring that very expression, but this time around, since the column for D, where there is this D, I will subtract this one with 0, or I will just leave this one and exclude, or let me put a 0, a real 0. So if error, then Excel will just to add a 0 to this one, or it will just take only the NSS. So for me, let me leave this. Let me leave this D. I just exclude D. So I remove even this bracket. So if you are seeing here, basic, if this value is error, I would like Excel to, instead of bringing this one, instead can go for this option. So If error, it means they will do basic plus allowance minus only this. They will not take this because in that column there is nothing which is supposed to be calculated. If there is no error, it means Excel will take the entire expression we just written to get the net pay. It means they will subtract both these. So let us close our bracket, and maybe how many brackets so far we opened? I think there are supposed to be one. Let's press enter, then we autofill so that we can overcome that error. So we can see whenever there is error, they have subtracted something. Let us come here and you see here there is a word tax, no tax. So if we come here, we can see if error, they have just used this part so that they overcome this error part. If there is no error, they have just used this first part you have just written for subtracting this plus this. If there is no error, they just excluded this D. So that is how we can overcome that. So after calculating everything and you have already your net pay, then you want to represent this in a graph. So we will say, they said we use surname. So surname in bubble chart, when you are doing or when you are plotting bubble chart, first of all you need to select what they told you. So they said we use only surname, first name, and net pay. So let us go and select net, surname, and the first name. We only select the value we are gonna use when we are gonna plot bubble graph or bubble chart. So we select this one and we come and we select what we call net pay. So let me go and select net pay here. I hold my control key and I select another which I want. So I can select net pay. From there I go to insert. I come here. This is where we get what we call bubble chart. So you click on this drop down and you get this bubble chart, or you can get bubble. This is the 3D, this is 2D. So you can select any. So I'll go with this 3D. This is what you call bubble chart. For this kind of data, let me try to switch and see what I can get. So for this kind of data, you can see it will not give you the exact maybe the exact thing I wanted. So this kind of data, it is very hot, but what we call bubble chart is very important. How it gives you a very what visible presentation of your document. How, if let us assume we had only 3, maybe something which is small, like population size and different country, the bubble chart will give you, it has 3 elements. Unlike other charts, the size of the bubble, let me change to this one. The size of this bubble, it tells you the amount, and you just see on the size of this bubble and you say, oh, this one is big, this one is big, and this one is big, and it can be represented by just using what you call even colors. Different colors can be used in bubbles. So when you have a good data that can be represented, that are suitable to be represented with its bubble color, it brings a very clear image for maybe what you call this presentation of your data. So bubble charts is among these charts we use to present our data, but this one is very visible it is very clear, it brings something which is visible. You just look at it and you just look at the bubble and you say, oh, this one may present a big one, this was. So because of we have this kind of data which cannot suitable for this bubble, that's why we are getting something like this. But just assume we have a good data or a very organized data, it will give a clear image and you can also easily distinct. So this is what we call bubble chart, but what they wanted. So let me go to another part. They said filter out employees that do not qualify to pay tax and just save them in sheet 2 and rename that low paid. So we want to filter out. So here I'll just transfer. I'll just create another copy for this document, and from there I apply filter, that is Ctrl Shift L. It will only can't be applied to selected. So let me go away. Let me just click inside my work. I apply Ctrl Shift L. I see I can have applied filter. So Ctrl Shift L can apply filter when I clicked inside my work. So when I'm inside my work, so I apply filter Ctrl Shift L, or I can decide to go to Home tab. I come here where there is filter, then I click on filter. I'll get the same thing. So I'll come here where there is pay and I filter out the word. If I don't want to say anything, I deselect the thing. Let me deselect the thing. I'm interested in seeing this. So let me tick this one. So I would like to see no tax. I think they said the question was very clear. They said filter out the employer that don't qualify to pay taxes. So when I go to Excel and they come to this paper sheet where there's filter, I go to pay, I deselect everything, then I look for the word no tax. I'm interested to see on this no tax. I click OK. So I'll only see those one with this word no tax, and they said we rename this one as no tax. They said we rename this one low tax. So we go here and rename this one low tax. Low tax, low paid. They said low paid. So that is what they told us. So we come here to our first sheet and we go to our question and we see they said sort out the employees in order of their net pay. So if they said sort out employee in order of their net pay, so it's like you go to your work and you look for the column net pay, click anywhere, right click, sort, then you can, they said order, then maybe largest to smallest. So you sort like that, everything become sorted. That is how we can sort our data. I think that one also done. Maybe yes, I think that one is finished. What else? I think that one is fine. So that is the end of this question. That is the end of this question. Maybe we come for this part of question 3. let us go for question 3, but for this question 2 it's done. So thanks.